Oh, hello. Hmm. ברוכים הבאים. Welcome everyone. Welcome to Abracadabra, Create What You Speak. I'm iLan Azoulai, your host, spiritual mentor, and sound therapist for you who are ready to reclaim your power, to find that joy within you that brings you that place of expansiveness where you can express yourself in any way that you feel, depends on the parts of your journey, and find your purpose. Doesn't matter what others say. Releasing ourselves from what other people say, from judgments. I'm playing here the frequency of the third eye. Third eye during these times is a key. Is a key to open up, to understand, to connect, especially during these times. So, don't have the jingle, the opening jingle. So, this is the opening jingle. Welcome to Abracadabra. I'm iLan Azoulai. Put headphones for a few minutes and allow the sound to penetrate. Welcome. Today, every once a month or something like that, I will come up live here and talk and share and answer any questions regarding this past month's events. Hi, Tamara. Welcome. Lovely to have you here. Each part of our body has a frequency. Our spiritual body and our physical body has a frequency, and when we apply this frequency, the frequency actually does a couple of things. It does more than a couple of things, but the main things. It sends messages to the body cells, to the physical, and messages to the brain to heal themselves, to heal those parts, to heal those places that are in need of rejuvenation, or in need of healing, in need of the attention that many times we don't give, especially when it comes to ourselves. We usually like to take care of other people. Many times it's an escape of not dealing with what we have, with what things that are going on within us that didn't have the place and time and space to cultivate. So we give it to other people. Many times we also say, oh, we are that kind of people. And it is true. We are here also to experience, especially the place of giving. And how many times this place is actually not an authentic place of giving, but a place of filling a void. And when we're filling a void, when we're coming from a place of a need, the intentions are always skewed a little bit. הריני מקבל על עצמי את מצוות עשה של ואהבת לרעך כמוך. I hereby accept to myself the due commandment or the utterance of love to your neighbor and love to your friend in the same way that you express love to yourself. And the focus here, the focus in this sentence is first of all on ourselves. And we many times tend not to pay attention to that, right? But we pay attention to ourselves first, so we can be a place of being like a receptacle, like a bowl that we receive, and then we can give. And but first of all, we have to do it for ourselves, to receive for ourselves, to see ourselves, to see the place that we're in. So the question is, if I'm continuously on a journey to discover myself and to be in a place of harmony, can I not give? Can I not show affection? Can I not show love? Can I not practice giving to the other person? Rabbi Schneerson said, no, if you know only one letter in a language, you teach that. You bring it forth. Because we are passing on the place we're inhabiting, we're passing on the knowledge, we're passing on the inspiration. So also if you know one letter, that is enough, because there's somebody who doesn't know that letter. And this is expressing love. This is expressing love to ourselves first, by recognizing what we received and what we know, and then offering it to the other person. It's like a cycle. It's going back. And so this week, well, this month, this year, it's been it still is, but I feel like it's the highest incline of the first dip of the roller coaster, It's just that I feel that we are really in a good place relatively to where we were a year ago, relatively where we were 6 months ago. And today I want to talk primarily let me share this, primarily about the separation that actually is cultivating closeness. And there are many, many situations that are happening, that can show us what is happening. We last week we finished this light here shining your face there. We ended the holiday of Hanukkah, the festivities of light, and oh boy, that was I don't know about you with the Corona era and how Corona affected you. I know many people everybody was affected. Everybody was just affected in a different way, in their own story, and then in their own place with families. I know that I personally lost 2 family members to this. Within days, they were gone. So, and many people that I know that have contracted the virus, and Max did not contract the virus. That is my dog there. And so, and many people have been affected by that. Let me see if I can get somebody to take care of whatever Max needs. And now I'm with you. So many people were affected. Everybody was affected. And that created this whole time, this whole era, this whole Quranic era. At first, it was like, I remember, at least in this part of the world, in this part of my world, it was like a rat race. It was like, what do we do? How do we do? Who is here? Who's against who? What's going on? Who's running this whole thing? And it's quite confusing. It can be quite confusing because, we're not really, not everybody or not many of us are in a state of seeing everything as it is supposed to happen, seeing everything as it is a an intended part of the journey for us, for each one of us individually and collectively, to see the place that we are inhabiting, to see how we're operating, how we discover ourselves, because this is a time of transition. And so everybody is affected differently. For me personally, it was a blessing with all the difficulties it was with family members and other events that happened during this time. It's been a blessing. It's been a blessing in discovery things, in shifting the perception. And it's funny all the time say that shifting perception is really like going to a gym for our imagination. And it is like that, because we first perceive, then we believe, and then we are acting based upon it. So our decision and our choices are coming from that place which we inhabit. And how do we know if the place? How do we know if our choices are right? How do we know? Many times we ask, "Am I doing this right? Is this right? Is this right for me?" And I know that for myself, and I know from other people that sometimes we feel really in the groove. It's like a wheel that is like a jigsaw wheel that catches on the other wheel and then turn the wheel, so it's like sitting on the slit, like really in that place and starting to move things. And sometimes we don't feel that. Sometimes we feel disconnected. Sometimes we feel that our place is like plucked out of a ground, like a flower that is being plucked out of the ground, taking out of the ground, and the flower is like, whoa, what happened? And so sometimes we feel that. And here's the thing: when we feel that, we feel that. When we are connected, we are connected. And when we're talking about being in the now and experiencing what is going on, it is really to recognize and to acknowledge the place that we're in. I know in the past when I would be in a place of disconnect, and it's really like a pull and push, and I'll talk about that. I was very anxious. In the past, I was very anxious when I wasn't in that space, because I know how it feels to be in that space. I know how it feels and what can be achieved and what is being revealed and what is being transformed based on that reveal. And it's a state of expansiveness. It's a state of understanding that everything is happening here for a reason. Everything that is happening for me, not to me. Everything that is happening for me to see something. And this is how this is how all of our journeys are. We are here to experience what we are experiencing, and to recognize from a place of think of an umbrella. Umbrella is the overview. Umbrella is the frame of everything. And underneath the umbrella, we can do whatever. So umbrella protects from the rain. In this case, it's protecting. So we can do whatever we can do under the umbrella. So let's look at the umbrella place. When we are in a state, in an emotional, spiritual, following physical, when we are in a certain spiritual state, in a certain emotional state, and men and women are different, obviously, right? We're wired differently. So when we are in this space, we can see everything like a map. We can see everything like a map. And when we see everything like a map, we can look at things without any emotional attachment. Now, sometimes it is hard to do, especially when we are in a place in that moment of whether it is, it could be grief, it could be whatever that is. So sometimes when we are in that state, it is hard to see. Beyond. But like Rabbi Sachs, God bless his soul, wonderful rabbi who passed away about a couple of months ago. Rabbi Sachs said that the meaning, and this is really what it is the meaning of a system always lies outside of a system. So when we are when we are immersed in a system, when we are immersed in a happening, when we are immersed in a certain situation, many times it is hard to find what that meaning is. So, and sometimes we have to start from the end to discover the purpose. So when we go, we're saying, what's a purpose in life? What's the meaning of life? What's the meaning of my life? What's the meaning of what I'm here to do? A very simple answer is that the meaning of life is to make meaning, right? If that it's all about making. How do we make meaning? And the processes that we go through each step of the way to create a certain meaning, whether it is a positive or a negative. But if we look, let's go back. If we look at I'm telling you, let's go back to me, I'm saying. It's like talking to all 13 of me. So when we are looking at an umbrella, when we're looking at a map, we're able to detach ourselves from any attachment to something that is happening. When we are able to do that, when we're able to be in that place, and that place can happen when we are recognizing, when we are in a constant journey of recognizing the place that we are inhabiting. Because the place emotionally and spiritually that we are inhabiting is going to dictate the place of which we are making decisions from, or choices. So we're talking about choices, yeah, but where's the choice coming from? What place we are at this current time. And so when we are disconnected, so to speak, it's not really disconnected because we are in a duality. We're duality. We're humans, first of all. In Judaism, Judaism says that by default, we're not redeemed. Why? Because we are in a body that cannot contain the entire light, that cannot contain, the intensity of that light, which we come from, which we are all a seed of that light. We're all a speckle of that light inside this physical manifestation. So when we are in in this state, we're all the time in a pull and push. It's always a pull and push. It's not coming to a place where we say, oh, I'm now in this place, I'm going to be here forever. Yes, our desire is to be in a place of enlightenment and a place of giving and a place of joy constantly. But when we're doing something, think about something mundane that you do, or something or you don't see somebody for a week, somebody that you're very close to. Why? What is that creating? That is creating the longing. That's creating the longing to be in that place. That's creating the longing to reach that place. That creates the longing to anything, to be in that place. So what is creating that longing is the actually pendulum, the other side of the pendulum, the other side of being in that place, meaning the disconnect, what appears to be disconnect. But just like dark is not the absence of light, darkness is darkness as its own entity. The same thing that disconnect is connect in its own entity. It's in its own polarity. So we have two polarities. We have the connect, the plus, and we have the minus, the disconnect. They're both part of the battery. They're both part of the enlightenment process. They're both part of the seeing process. Oh, now I see. Right? What is happening? We're going up the mountain, and we're going up the mountain, and after 100 feet, there is a little dip. And there is a little dip, and we're staying there. And there is continuation. We continue up. We go up the mountain. There is another dip. We go the third 300 yards or whatever you want, and then there is another dip. So it feels that every time we reach a dip in climbing the mountain, we feel kind of like an oomph, like right? And but see that the third dip, even the second dip of the climbing of the mountain, is higher than the first high, right? So we were in a certain situation, we were in a certain place 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and now we're in a different place. It is continuing. So the dip that we are experiencing, the disconnect that we're experiencing, is part of the climbing. It's part of getting there. Because with going up, there is always a pullback. We are all the time We're never in the 50% mark. Sometimes we're 60-40, sometimes we're 70-30, sometimes we are 90, sometimes we're less, and it fluctuates. But what's the word, what's the state that holds everything together? The ultimate state really that we are here to be doing is harmony. 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 Harmonia. Harmony. Think about a music piece. We're not, take a piece that you like. We're not listening only to the words, the lyrics. We're not listening only to the music. We're not listening only to the arrangements. We're not listening only to the velocity and all these pieces that together make the body a whole. And we are a whole. We are a body as a whole. So sometimes we are in a disconnect, but that disconnect is actually a connect back. It's like a slingshot. Think of a slingshot. Slingshot, we take the rock back, but it's a setback so we can fly higher, that we can fly faster and stronger. So we are going into this contracted place, contracting and embrace that contraction. You're feeling tightness, you're feeling this place of an oomph during these times. This is a setback for us. If I hope I'm using the right word, this is kind of a setback so we can fly. We can fly further. Hi, Alex. Hi, Tamar. Thank you, everyone, for being here. It is courageous, and we are at these times, at this enormous time. So thank you for being, Tamara, Alex, whoever else is here. Please say hi. I can see that actually. Okay, so we are in a place of, sometimes when we're in a place of a disconnect, it's actually a place of connecting. It's a place of connecting from coming out of the system, coming out of the place that we've been, contracting, bringing things home, looking at things, understanding things, recognizing, where was I when I made this choice? Where was I when I made this choice? And the thing is that many times we beat ourselves about the choices that we make or made. We beat ourselves about the choices that we made. Why? Because the reason we beat ourselves on that is because we're looking at what happened then with the eyes of today. So we are climbing the mountain, we're reaching the third dip, and we are judging our first incline or decline. And this is disservice to us, disservice to humanity, because what we are inhabiting within ourselves is being transmitted outside. It's being projected outside. And many times we can project it on other people. We project our fears. We project our beliefs that were perceived by the place that we've been in. And many times that come also from how we experience life. So we are in that place where we are passing the buck. But sometimes when we're passing the buck, we don't know where that buck was. We don't know that place, whether it was healthy or not, if we're not looking at that. So separation and connection are together. This goes to all our shadow places. We've been in Hanukkah, the festivities of light, this past 2 weeks. The candle is to light one little flame. We're all one flame that will evaporate darkness. And so we are in this place. When we go into our contracted place, we're able to see, we're able to look at things and recognize the place that we are. So the separation is connection. Separating is to be able to see. It's like a check and balance. We're able to see and verify and look, oh, this is how I reacted, or this is how I responded. This is how I experience, and therefore that is why I made the choice that I made to bring me this result. And so beating ourselves up with the eyes of today is not doing service to us. Why? Because back then we didn't have the understandings that we have now. We didn't go through so many dips in order to get and to understand the place that we are inhabiting. So Judging ourselves 5 years ago based on what we see today and what we understand today is just not good for us. Now, if I, it's not about saying because okay, so if the first word that came to me is to say wrong, but then I judge myself saying, I can't say the word wrong because there's nothing wrong, right? We're just saying that everything is happening for a reason. So maybe when we do make these choices that are not from a harmonious place, it is for us to continue the journey until we see that. So nothing is really wrong. We just make choices that are based on where we are, which brings us that result. But quick, one more thing about the choice, and then I want to move on. Think of a maze that there are four exits. It's like a square. There are four exits on top, and then there is an apple on one of them. And then there is on the bottom four entrances to the maze. Right. So one of those paths will lead to the apple. The rest three of them will lead to, right, oblivion. So whatever path we take, it's already predetermined. Whatever choice we make, every choice has its own branching of things. So where is the choice happening? The choice is not happening when we are taking the choice, when we're going to the road, when we're going through the maze. The choice is being done when we are in the start, before what the place that we inhabit within ourselves. So that's where the choice is made. Now, each choice that we make, there is a causality and effect. So we make a choice and we took this road. Now there is the effect of that choice. We can change maybe our paths that will create something different. But most likely those paths that were already there are predetermined. So it is the choice before actually going on the journey. It's a choice that we're making based on where we are when we started that maze. So separation and connection. This we were in Hanukkah. Then we had the great conjunction, Saturn and Jupiter, and it is about organization and order. This is organization and order. It's globality, and this is what's happening now. Everything is being clamped down by those who are sitting there and allowing things to and pushing things to a certain direction. And the question is, how do we respond? Not how do we react, how do we respond? And this is a very tricky thing because I've seen, and I've been in both places, both sides of the spectrum, and I've seen. Thank you, Tamara, for sharing. And I've seen both sides of being in a herd-like mentality, and saying, wait, yo, hey, wait. What is happening here? Now I have my own understanding of how things are and why things are like that, but I've been saying it for a long time that this is a war on our consciousness. This is a war on our consciousness. Nothing is coincidental. Nothing is coincidental, and this time where we're in, it is a spiritual war. Now, war has a negative connotation because war is aggression. But when you're being aggressized against, somebody's being aggressive to you, it is preserving and excelling our state of being. It is recognizing what we are facing and who we are facing. So in this parasha, in this portion of the week that we had, Parashat Vayigash, it was very interesting. I talked about it a little bit on Friday. And in short, I will say that it's called Parashat Vayigash, means got closer. Judah got closer to Joseph. So it's a story of Joseph, that he was sold, and we're past the sailing, and Joseph is in Egypt, and he is the ruler of Egypt, except for Pharaoh, but he's responsible for everything. And his brothers are coming to ask for food because there is a drought after Joseph's dreams, that will be drought, and they're coming and they're asking for food. Now, they don't recognize him, but he recognizes them. And he plays a trick on them. that he puts a cup in the youngest son's, in the youngest brother, his youngest brother Benjamin. He puts a cup and sends them, and then he goes and chases them. Oh, why did you steal the cup from me? And he's playing this game with them. Now Judah, who it says who the parsha is starting with, Judah was a part of the brothers that sold Joseph, that not didn't sell Joseph, but they dumped him in a hole in the desert. So he was part of that. They wanted to kill him, and so he was part of the sale. Benjamin wasn't, because Benjamin wasn't born yet. So when Joseph said, "Okay, you guys are going to repay me for stealing," and so Judah thought that, okay, now we're getting the punishment. We made that choice back at that time. We made a bad choice by trying to kill our brother, and now we're being punished by, we have to pay the debt. So he tells Joseph, you know what, we are all going to be slaves for you because of what we've done. They know what they've done. They don't know that this is Joseph, so they're not telling him that they killed their brother. But Joseph says, no, 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 you guys go. Just leave the little one who stole, leave him here. You go. So then Judah realizes that this is not really about what they did, because Benjamin was not part of the sale. So he was not liable as much as they were. But now they're being sent away, and he's remaining in Egypt. So that is when Judah changed his tone of speech. And he says Vayigash, and he got closer. Now, at that time, when you would talk to the king and you talk to Pharaoh, you stand like so many feet apart, and while they were standing so many feet apart, Judah was thanking him and for everything. But so he got closer, meaning that he was bold enough to move his tuchas closer to Joseph, right? And say, listen, I know that I don't know what trick you're doing, but if you're going to do this, I'm not afraid. I'm going to stand up for you, and I'm going to chop your chops. And like literally, that's what he said to him. I mean, figuratively, but literally were other words. And I don't care. You can be like Pharaoh, whatever, but I'm going to be very upset with you if you make this decision. And then Joseph reveals himself and so forth. But what do we see here? The representation really of this whole story of the lineage of Jacob. It starts with Jacob. We're experiencing separation. Joseph separation from Esau. It was all the time a contrast. It was all the time a contrast. Jacob, since his birth, he was holding Esau's heel. He stole his, quote unquote, stole. He stole his birthright, Esau's birthright. Um, Esau wanted to kill him. Joseph, the same thing. His brothers wanted to kill him. It was all the time a separation. But then with Jacob, that separation of all so many years eventually led to closeness, because there was a long time, there was actually like 20 something years that passed before they met again. And time does its thing. We are in this dimension where time does its thing. Um, and so the thing of separate and closeness. My grandma used to say that far from the eye, close to the heart. It is creating that separation, creating that longness, the longing for somebody, longing for that connection. They were miserable. I mean, think about you today, or about family, or somebody that you know, that you are in separation mode. I see families, I talk to clients, friends, families that are separated because all kind of reasons. It could be financial, it could be he said this, she said that, how could he do this? But ultimately, at the end of the day, we want to be with these people. The people that we are having the most uncomfortable time, the people that trigger us the most, are the best teachers, are our best guides. They may not know it, we may not know it either, at that time, but we have to be out of the system to see what has happened. How many times, if you went through a separation or if you went through some kind of past that was a very strong impact on your life, looking at it few years back, it is understanding the place that we've been in, understanding that we can feel things, we can suddenly feel also what the other person felt. So so one of the lessons here is, first of all, to think, to see. Judah, because of his guilt feelings, could have just do what Joseph said, and that's it, because he felt so guilty and so bad about what he did and what they did and what they were a part of. And so, but he did not. It hit him at a certain moment that, wait, something is off here. And this is what I ask every one of you. We are here at a time of a great expansion. We're here at the time we had a great conjunction on Monday, where this is all the global thing, all what is happening, the globality, the one system, the control on our consciousness, the war, this trying to steal our consciousness with all kind of vaccines and all kind of orchestrated and the virus thing and everything. It is here, it is real, and it has been politicized. But with all this separation, there is this closeness, because if we look at all that happened, there is more closeness between each one. We are noticing how important it is to be connected, how important it is to want to be part with somebody, how important it is to belong. It always was important. It is in our DNA to belong, to be connected where we feel home, where we feel unjudged, where we feel inclusive rather than seclusive. But sometimes we need to go through certain things and to be like yanked out of that system to see what is happening. And this is exactly what the corona did. This separation that created, we cannot technically be with some people or with people. We have to we have quarantines, we have all these places, we have the masks, we have all this stuff. And yet this is the time where we realize the most how important it is to be connected. And just like with the Hanukkah candles, with one light and another light and another light and another light, and we have a huge flame, a huge fire coming together. In the Hanukkah, in the last song, in one of the songs of Hanukkah in Judaism, there is a song that says, "And we as people," it's talking about the Israelites, but you know what? We're all people. We're all creation. We're all part of this magnificent creation. And when we the people, our power is in our coming together. When we come together, we will be able to stand up. When we be able to stand up, just like Judah said, just like Judah did, when we're able to stand up, we're able to draw truth to us. We're able to prevail and go beyond. So nitached, we come together. Nakum, we get up, meaning we stand up for ourselves, and it can be collectively and it can be personally. It is as it is above, so it is below. It is the spiritual, so it is in the physical. It's in the physical that we experience and we practice spirituality. So when we are in that place, we can be saved, if you will, or delivered into the place of understanding where we are, understanding where we're coming from, understanding what is truth. Because truth, there is only one, and then there is your truth and my truth. So there is really, what we want is the truth to emerge, the truth to emerge, so we can be in a place of harmony. So this separation is bringing us closer. This separation is bringing us closer. Think about, and how ironic it is, think about before the Quranic era. Before the Quranic era, Everybody was in their iPads, on their computers. Everybody was like, hey, I don't know you. Who are you? Are you part of my club? No, you're not. So go find a different club. All these kind of things that not everybody, but it's been a very individualized iPad, iPhone. It was everything I know I've been to that movie. The actor dies at the end. I tell you that. It is, and I know I've trying to get, trying is actually the negative, but I'm better. I see things in a different way, and it's always growing. There's always something to learn. But if I look something like 5 years ago, 7 years ago, 10 years ago, I realized the place I was in. I realized the place I wasn't because I could not see. I could not see because I had filters, more filters on my eyes, more than I have now. I had more filters in my eyes, and so it is filters that are blurring the vision. Think about sunglasses. When you put sunglasses, you don't see the full spectrum of colors, because yeah, we want to try and block the light, but at the same time, we're also blocking the filters of colors. And when I don't have to wear sunglasses, I don't, because I like to see things with my own eyes. Yeah, and so the separation gets us closer. And this is how it was with this. This is what the story of the parasha is, of this weekly portion. That we are to stand for what we recognize it is right, for what we recognize is truth, and to understand that this separation gets us closer. And so when we are experiencing separation within us, we feel, today I don't feel it. Today I'm not in it. It is okay. It is okay. When you're not in it, experience that you're not in it. Because by showing and not being afraid being in the not in it stage, we're showing our progress. To whom? To ourselves first. It doesn't matter others. What other people think really is none of our business, to put it kind of nicely, ironically. And so, but it is like that, because if we are going to pay attention, if we're going to pay attention to what the other people said and what other people are saying, we'll never get out of it. We'll never get out of that place of comparing ourselves to other, comparing ourselves to somebody else's life, comparing ourselves to somebody else's experiences. Oh, why you have that? Why am I not having that? So back to the separation. Separation is getting us closer. It is with mindfulness that we walk through these valleys. It's the shadows within us that we want to integrate. It is not to say, you know what, I'm really feeling not good today. I'm not going to do anything until I feel good. Sometimes we can sit in this procrastination mode forever. Again, been there, done that. Been to that movie. The actor dies at the end. So when we are in the separation state, when we feel disconnected from somebody, be in that place. Be in that place of recognizing that place of separation, recognizing that place that, let's say, we're taking a break of being all the time. So we can come back, we can assess, we can be in this place, and we can go back. Because maybe when we were in this expansive state, maybe we've been arrogant, maybe we're still human. We are in this body, and I tell this to myself just as everything that I'm saying here. It is I feel like I'm talking to myself, and well, figuratively, and I mean technically, I am talking to myself here because I'm looking at me here. But I believe that you know what I mean. We're talking, it's really talking to ourselves. It's really how we are experiencing all this. So when I'm talking to you or with you or to me, I'm talking to me as well as anybody else who is connecting. And it takes courage. It takes courage. You know, when I first came on these programs 2.5 years ago on my birthday, um, I was, I was like a duck in the water. I was trying to appear cool on the outside, but inside my legs were like, like this kind of a duck in the water thing. And every time it happens, even this morning, I wasn't sure, but I felt that this is the right place, and especially because I wasn't sure, especially because I wasn't completely okay. Let's go into it, and I need that. I need that, and maybe some of you need that as well. I need that feeling, that contrast, so I will have the pool of the longing, the will, the desire. Where is the desire arising from? The desire is arising from a lack. The desire is arising from a place of not having that which we want to have. And that's creating that desire. That's fueling that will. It's like being apart from somebody. We're being apart from somebody. We're being apart from people now. We're creating this desire to come and connect together, and to continue a way that we haven't experienced before. Thank you, Tamara. It's not my birthday now. I don't know why my birthday is in June, but thank you. You're the second person that tells me that. Did I say something about my birthday? Okay, but thank you. Um, feel that place, to feel that place of separation, because that separation place is the polarity that will pull us back, that will create this desire, that will fuel that will to be in the place, to be in this place. So we are nearing the end. This has been a blessing, and I want to finish with a little bit. If you have headphones, go ahead and put your headphones on, and we'll send off like this from here with a little frequency, and to encourage each one of us, each one of you, to experience this place, not to be afraid to be in the place of a little disconnect, a little separation. Find what you can cultivate from that separation rather than feeling sorry for being in a separated place. Find what is right. Look for the truth, not for an emotional attachment truth, but from a truth of a map, a truth of we're here to experience what it is here that we're here to experience. So if you have headphones, which will be the best actually for this part, close your eyes, breathing in through your nose and out through your nose. Filling your belly with breath, following your breath and the sound that hits every muscle, that goes in with your breath. The frequency of the third eye is to open our eyes to possibilities, to heal the way that we see things, to decalcify that pineal gland of ours. Allow the sound to go in, caress you, remind you that you are here for a reason. You are here for a purpose. The first one is you, so you can be for the other. Thank you for being here. Thank you for taking the time and the courage to show up. Feel wholeness from within that separation and that connection. Thank you for being here. This is Abracadabra. Create what you speak. Literally creating what we speak. Abracadabra in Aramaic. Have a wonderful week. I'm iLan Azoulai. Thank you. and I'll see you soon. להתראות. Thank you. Shalom. Bye-bye.